talking payment innovation trends coming into 2021, there are three major things that, for me, top the list when we're looking at what's happening in the fintech and payment space. Number one, we're seeing, because of some of the changes in distributed workforce and organizations kind of having people working remotely, it's become more critical for companies to look at digital payment solutions. So what does that mean? It means that they're looking at solutions that help speed up their accounts receivable, smooth out the experience for the customer of paying invoices, and we're seeing constricting cash flow, which is kind of making this a critical point for companies to address coming into 2021. So the innovations that we really look at come in three areas. Number one, digitized payment platforms. So that's kind of the first piece. So a lot of B2B companies still were utilizing kind of phone call or email structures or PDF structures to collect payment information. Digitizing that speeds it up for the client, also speeds it up internally, and makes it easier for a distributed workforce to handle. Digitized payment options for the client. So with B2B clients, most of them have relied heavily on wire transfers and physical checks, which are pretty labor intensive when it comes to how many times you have to touch that transaction to handle it. A customer controlled ACH or credit card remove some of those touches, smooth out some of the experience. So we're seeing a lot of companies either open up digital payment acceptance or really press into it or accelerate the acceptance of digital payment methods. And then the last piece that we see in the space or innovations coming into 2021 is completely integrated payment options. So we talk about digital payment forms, so ACH and credit card. We talk about digital platforms, so ways to reach the customers easier. The third leg of that really is integrating that into accounting software packages, ERPs, and CRMs. So kind of closing that loop to make it so that you might be able to do that work with less people, or it doesn't add to the work that your staff is already doing for a lot of B2B companies. So integrating that into things like NetSuite, QuickBooks, SAP, and as well as kind of creating their own shopping carts. We're seeing a lot of companies really press into that coming into 2021 in the B2B professional services and technology spaces. So the impact of innovating around the payments or AR or iterating, for a lot of companies, they were already on the path. It can look like a couple different things. Number one, we see a lot of greater client retention in these kind of times because customers of B2B companies are looking for simplified ways to engage, pay invoices, and move on to the next task. So, you're going to see some heightened customer retention. It'll make your customers happier. The other piece that that a lot of our customers see when they start iterating or innovating around their payments is their ARR. So the number of days that it takes a customer to pay an invoice either stabilizes or we see it begin to drop, which is good. It means you're getting paid quicker. And then the third piece is you'll see customers also that maybe where if you're in a specific industry niche where payments may be a little bit harder to make, it's maybe not moved as fast in kind of innovating around payment options for clients. For customers in those niches, the easier that they make payments, actually the more volume they end up getting. So we're actually seeing a lot of customers grow right now during these times that have either innovated or iterated around kind of how they work with clients. So those are kind of the three major pieces that we see as far as impacts for customers that are focused on innovating or iterating their payment processes. The resources that are available to a lot of customers when they want to pursue innovation or iterating the payment processes, well, look like a few things. Number one, they could access a resource like Calibr, somebody that is a subject matter expert that takes a consultative approach in the industry. Consultants in our industry can look a couple different ways. It can be project-based work, so you could be working with a firm that has a hard technology lean, but has subject matter experts that work inside around different areas. So think of smaller consulting firm in the vein of Deloitte, Accenture. Those kind of firms usually do it on a larger enterprise level scale, but there's lots of consulting firms that do project-based work to help clients iterate that. You can also reach out to providers like Calibr that actually provide the service in addition to the consulting. Oftentimes, frankly, actual providers in the space may have a better pulse on some of the newer platforms or technologies that are available. And then the third, if you kind of are in a place where there's multiple fires to put out, but you need to make a little bit of leeway, I would say reach out to your current provider and ask them about maybe new tools or new features that may help you take a couple steps in the right direction. And oftentimes that's going to be relationship bank or your managed service provider IT team. They may have some ideas of some small adjustments that you can make to begin to move in that direction. At Calibr, we really believe in ongoing education for our clients. Our industry is always changing. Technology never stops. Innovations in technology never stop. So when we're working with our client pool, there's two things that are really important. Number one, helping them understand the impact of upcoming industry changes to their cost and their processes. The credit card processing industry's hard costs or interchange update twice a year, once in April, once in October. In 2020, the year was a little bit special, to say the least. So most of the changes in the industry were bundled and put off until April of 2021. There are some significant increases coming to B2B and card not present merchants. So one of the things that we've done in the last 6 months with our clients is actually calculated the impact numbers of what it means, some of these changes mean to some of the clients, and look at methods that we can take to help mitigate or eliminate the impact of those changes to the client's month-to-month costs. We think that this is a really practical way to be looking at the changes. The other is really around technology. Technology can be tricky to keep up with, to understand what changes have impact, what don't. At Calibr, we value the ongoing relationship that we hold with clients. And the key to kind of staying ahead of things or iterating, innovating, or just simply making adjustments to the technology you're using, for us, focuses around our every 6 month or annual checkups with clients. When we take that time to sit down with clients on an annual basis, review not only their costs, but the technologies that they're using to accept payments, it gives us an opportunity to look at adjustments that can be made. So simple things that can just be changed to make an impact either internally on their side or for the customers. It may also be an opportunity to look at, is this the right technology? Have things changed for us as a company? Is there a better technology that can help us manage our accounts receivable, manage our customers? Or is there a technology that's come onto the market in the last year or 6 months that can integrate into more of our systems, reducing some of that manual keying and reconciliation that a lot of companies get stuck in? So I think the important thing for us at Calibr, but the important advice that we would have for many customers out there, companies out there, is review it annually. At least look at your technology on an annual basis. There could be an area of improvement that could help save money or improve experience internally for your team or even for your customers.